One thing that has been a focus as of lately is growing my email list. I'd like to know how other people out there are going about it. All right, here's another question from Melissa. Melissa says, one thing that has been a focus as of lately is growing my email list. I'd like to know how other people out there are going about it. Marketing, it's the perfect thing to talk about on this show. If you have any questions specifically on the technical aspects of that, for example, how do I create an email list? What platform should I use for it? What are the steps to do that? How do I get the form on my website so people can actually set that up? What's an opt-in situation? What's a welcome email? If you have questions about the actual process, the technical aspects of it, ask me right here. It's the perfect thing for us to go over in a future show. I don't think that's Melissa's question today. I think she already has an email list set up and she's looking for ideas on how to grow her email list. So we're going to talk about that specifically. But if you do have any other questions about the technical aspects or how to do it or what software, by all means, I'd love to talk about that in a future episode. That is a perfect topic for us here, email marketing and the tools and how to use them. But let me show you what Robert said. He had some immediate answers for Melissa. By the way, Robert, Melissa, I would invite you to connect with each other. You're both vets and you're both a part of my life through different networking groups, and I think you could get a lot of value from each other. So I didn't even foresee the networking opportunities that would come out of this group, and yet it's already happening. So anyway, I encourage the two of you to connect through this post and as well, and through Facebook and offline. You're both here in San Diego, so get together for a drink. It'll be a hoot. So let's take a look at what Robert is saying in response to Melissa's question. He says, Melissa, I created about 8 small ebooks and a magazine. All have an email capture system to gain leads. Then I used Weebly, CJ will throw something at me for this, because you get 8 free pages for 1 email for giveaway sites. Paired with auto-posting software like Buffer, and now those bad boys are churning out posts all night. I wake up with 3 to 6 daily when I use this. So let me unpack a little bit about what Robert is saying here. So the first thing is he created some ebooks. This is what he's using as his giveaway. This is what he's using as his hook. Hey, sign up to my list and I'm going to give you this thing. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. So this is how he's doing it. He created an ebook and then he used Weebly to create that opt-in page. I'm not going to throw anything at you, Robert. I think that's a phenomenal idea. In fact, I don't remember if it was last episode or the episode before where we talked about the value of using certain website builders over another. I don't think Weebly is a good long-term strategy because you can't own it. It's owned by them. It's a website owned by them. I would rather you're doing it the way I'm doing it with my mywebsitesafari.com. That's my own website landing page. No one can take it away from me. It's totally mine. No one can close or acquire or merge tomorrow and shut that down. So I know it's going to be there tomorrow, mywebsitesafari.com. So that's the only thing I'd have to say about that, Robert. In fact, I've got a couple other ideas for Robert here in a minute. And then let's go ahead and take a look at Robert's website right there. I also want to mention he's using a tool called Buffer, which is a social media sharing tool where you can pre-program posts and messages that will automatically post to your social media as you set them. So that's a really great way. Do you see how he's using multiple technologies here in a system? He created the ebook, he created an email list, he created an opt-in on a website, and now he's using Buffer to drip those messages out to his social media all day long, even all night. Robert pointed out to me, there's people on the other side of the world from us, Australia, et cetera, and they're up when we're sleeping. Why wouldn't you want posts to go out at that time so they can get those messages? Another great tip from Rob. So let's take a look at the website. Let's take a field trip right over there right now. Let me do this. Here's the Ask A Web Geek website at askawebgeek.com. Please go over there and use that link to subscribe to YouTube. But I want to share with you, this is the link that Robert dropped in our group, 2%ofthebest.weebly.com. So see what he's doing here. He's doing everything right. He's got the opt-in page. He's got right here, you got your place for your email and your name and what you're going to get with it. And this is going to put you on his list. It's going to give you this free thing. And this is what he's talking about. He put this up and he gets a couple opt-ins every day. Every morning he gets up and checks his email, and he's got a couple more people on his list. Melissa, this is a great strategy for you. How can we do this in your business? What can we create or give away in your business? Let's check out, Robert, I've got a couple ideas for you real quick. Rob is phenomenally famous in our networking entrepreneur groups for giving away free advice live with people right there. And so I'm going to do the same thing for you, Robert. I want to give you just a couple really quick tips on how you could tweak this landing page. I would suggest to you, there's this little menu icon doodad right up here in the corner. It's called the hamburger icon, and it makes this mobile menu fly up. You don't need this for this kind of a site. Do you think, can you disable that? There might be an option to disable that. I'd get rid of it because you don't need it. Any extra buttons can be gotten rid of. We want to get rid of anything extraneous. So Rob, get rid of that. You need a space between this question mark and the "so did I." In fact, if you could, I'd drop that whole phrase "so did I" down to this next line. And then my next suggestion for you is right down here, we've got an ad for Weebly. Now I realize he may have gotten the free Weebly setup, and I think they make you have a Weebly ad as part of it. But I might recommend, it possibly is only a few dollars to remove their advertising. I think that's going to give you a more professional presentation if you remove that Weebly link from that page. And then finally, does it make more sense to have this content right over here above the opt-in? I know it's important to have the opt-in as close to the top of the page as possible, so that you get that engagement right away. And yet, I don't think it would be too far down the page if you swap the location of this picture. What they're going to get, I would put that up here and then have the opt-in below it. But you might get different results. Or maybe you put this picture and this title and content here in this left area, and then you have this headline stretch across the top of the screen, and then you put the opt-in on the right. Just a couple ideas of a little slightly better layout that might help on that landing page. Get rid of that mobile button, don't need it. Get rid of the Weebly ad if you can, don't need that. And finally, if you're paying Weebly anyway to remove their advertising, you might consider getting a domain name. This ties in earlier to our conversation. Get a specific domain name for this opt-in only, and then you can replace that Weebly. Stop advertising for Weebly, Robert. Come on, right? They don't need any more advertisement from you. So I would use your own domain name right there. Can you get 2%ofthebest.com and then have it forward or just have this website pop up at that domain name? Those are a couple ideas for you, Robert, because you so graciously give away your free advice. I'm going to give you some in return. So I'm so pleased to actually do that. Rob's poured a lot of great ideas into me, so I look for opportunities to give him some ideas. So that's just a couple ideas I might share with you, Rob. Thank you so much for jumping in on Melissa's question. And Melissa, that's exactly what I'm going to echo back. Let me flip back over here to the slide to see if I missed anything. So do you see what he's doing here? He's got the ebook. That's the opt-in. That's the free giveaway. That ties into the opt-in. Sign up now and get this free ebook. That adds them to the list. The benefit to you is that you get to market to them over and over again. The benefit to them is they can continue to hear more about the things that you're saying and the teaching that you have for them, and they get even more value than the one book that they opted in for. I'm always looking for that win-win. And then finally, he's using this auto posting software Buffer, which is the same one I use. Dr. Rob told me about this probably about a year, 2 years ago. I used to use Hootsuite, but now I'm using Buffer pretty much exclusively for this. So see the system he's set up here? He's got his ebook, he's got his opt-in, and then he uses this tool called Buffer to drip out those posts 24 hours a day so that those emails continue to come in. and those opt-ins continue to come in. Great ideas, right? Great idea, Rob. Thanks for demonstrating for us exactly how to do this right. And I'm kind of doing the same thing with my free video workshop. I'll point it out. It's the same concept. I created the workshop first, which is the video series. Then I created the website that hosts it, mywebsitesafari.com. Got a specific domain name just for that one thing, mywebsitesafari.com. It's got an opt-in. You come to it, you put in your email address, it puts you on the email list, and then it sends you the first video. And then it also sends you all the rest of the videos. You get 7 videos in that series, and now you're on my list. And now if I want to tell you about something else that's going on, or a different resource or a different tool, I'm able to do that. And I don't abuse my list. I don't email too much. You'll see people that email their list all across the gamut, right? You've got people that email every single day or multiple times a day. I think it's more common to email your list once or twice a week. And you've also got people that email once or twice a month, maybe once a quarter. So I think the most important thing is to be regular, to be intentional, whatever that is. Whatever that is for you, whatever you can do regularly, do it. And keep in mind, you can pre-program emails just like you can pre-program these posts from Buffer. You can pre-program your emails too. So don't think of it like, oh my gosh, it's something else I've got to add to my list. Think of it instead like, list of things to do. Think of it instead like, let's sit down and we'll create a couple emails and we'll pre-program those out, and you don't have to worry about it for a month or two. Okay, look to what they call batch your time. Do your time in batches. Make the best use of your time. Great question from Melissa. Melissa, let me know if you have any follow-up questions for that. Great answers from Robert. Hopefully we were able to demonstrate, show what he was talking about and the multiple steps that he's created. Great work, Robert, taking that action in your business and getting those things set up. And any one of you can do that. If Rob can do it, you can do that. And I'm not just giving him a hard time. He would tell you that too. If he can do it, you can do it. And that's true. If you have any questions at all about any one of those steps, come back to us and ask that question. That's what I'm here for. If you know in your head, I need an email list, I need an opt-in, I need a giveaway, what's the step that's holding you back from doing any of those things? That's what I'm here for. I will help you set up your email list, set up that opt-in, set up that website, set up that landing page, set up that Buffer account, set up those pre-programmed posts. What's something that we can do here live on the show to help you move your business forward? We'll do any of those things we can, okay? So if you have any questions, follow-up questions on any of those topics or how to use any of those tools we just talked about,